So what do you get when a database pioneer outpaces rich tech billionaires and becomes the world's richest man, while his company sets the pace in AI and blockchain ways? Well, that's the story of Larry Ellison and of Oracle that is shaking up Wall Street. And today I am joined by Kagiso Chidi to unpack one of the most fascinating shifts in global markets right now. Oracle, once known simply as a data-based company, has surged into the spotlight, securing massive AI contracts and while exploring blockchain opportunities and even being linked to TikTok and US operations. But the real question is this just a phase, or is Oracle transforming the stock market? Or is the market getting carried away with random headlines? Well, let's dive in. So how are you doing today? Welcome to the Market Brief. Could you also just tell our viewers here today just a little bit more about yourself?
Thanks for having me, Francois. Just a bit about myself. My name is Kagiso. I've been training for the past 8 years. I'm very much passionate about, AI, cryptocurrencies, and I think that's the reason why you had me on the show. Let's just talk a bit more about the headlines that we're seeing. When we're seeing a giant company like Oracle start making, big moves, you don't see a big tech company, they're taking gains of like 30% in one day. So definitely we're here to talk about it, to see whether is this all about the hype or, is there actual reason behind, the actual growth that is being there.
100%. Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself. So Larry Ellison, CEO, founder of Oracle, he has just become the world's richest man. Okay.
Yeah.
Outperforming Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, and all the other tech giants who we always used to hear about. In your opinion, how did a database founder manage to climb to, the very top? Because that is the very top. And what does that say about the changing landscape within the tech industry?
Thanks for asking that question. I think one thing that makes it, what people need to understand is the fact that Larry did not start, his company 2 years ago, but his company has been existing since 1977, So initially when the company started itself, it was, all about collecting data, and they've been doing that up until this point. And now they're talking about cloud computing. And, the true essence of it is really exciting, because I feel that at this point in time that we are right now, we're looking at the title of, the world richest being fought over by these major tech giants. I feel like Elon Musk, he was number one at some point, and now he got kicked off, and Larry is number one. And guess what he did? Recently, yesterday or so, he actually, he went out there and bought an extra 1 billion of Tesla stocks, and his net value went up 7%, So I'm really seeing that it's an actual title that these people are fighting for. Obviously taking his net worth to, 471 billion, leaving Larry at, 380. But it's really quite exciting to see what sort of comeback they're going to be coming with, So if people are competing for innovation, we should, benefit the fruits of the competition itself. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now, speaking about surging stock prices, Oracle stock has surged more than 77% over the past year, with massive contracts like some of the things that I was discussing in yesterday's market brief, like for instance, the $300 billion deal with OpenAI that is really driving momentum for Oracle at the moment. Now, do you think the market is right to be so extremely bullish on Oracle and AI bets, or is it just running ahead of fundamentals at this point of stage?
I think the reason why the market is reacting the way that it is right now is for the fact that Oracle has such a competitive advantage with everybody else, for the fact that they've been doing it for so long and they have so much data, they become so essential when it comes to AI. Keep in mind, when it comes to AI and training, you need large amounts of data to be able to train the AI, and based on the data that you're actually getting, can be what's going to determine whether your AI is going to be much more accurate or not. So I feel like that on itself, it's indicating how optimistic people are about AI itself and the direction that it's actually taking. The volumes that are coming into the market just emphasizes the optimism. And like you're talking about, the deal that they had with the OpenAI, to be able to provide them cloud computing for, OpenAI is very good. And I feel that the way that Oracle is actually going about it with their strategic partnership, it's much more, it's preparing them better than any other company for the future. And I'm really excited because, when you have a company like NVIDIA, you have a company like OpenAI, and they all, meeting over at Oracle, it's really, really exciting to see such unity at the top. Yeah.
Super tight spreads. Yeah, tighter than your jeans after Christmas lunch. What if you could get this value today? Turns out you can. Join ATFX now and let's get you started.
Absolutely. Let's shift the narrative here a little bit. Let's shift the conversation. So, up until this point, we've been talking about the founder, we've been talking about AI and so forth, but a large part of Oracle's business nowadays as well is blockchain and cryptos. So if we have a look at Oracle versus blockchain and crypto narrative, has Oracle built its empire on centralized trusts in enterprise data? That's kind of where it started. So while blockchain is very decentralized, so everything that Oracle has been doing up until this point has been from a centralized perspective.
Yeah.
And now, while blockchain pushes that decentralized model, if we can put it in such a way, do you see Oracle clashing with or complementing, if I can put it that way, the world of crypto and smart contracts and Web3? What's your viewpoint on this?
Yeah, man, I like how you're putting it in the sense of it's going to complement, I do see a route for it to go in the sense of complementing, major of the cryptocurrencies, because there's a lot of major of the, cryptocurrencies have smart contracts, Smart contracts, if you don't actually know, are, digital agreements that, get settled automatically, So with these smart contracts, they rely mainly on some of them they get data from external sources which are not in the blockchain. So, and the funny thing about it is that the role that Oracle actually plays, not the company, but the Oracle on the blockchain, is that it actually provides real life data onto the blockchain. So it's the same, imagine the same company called Oracle there's a function in the blockchain, which is Oracle itself, you see, and it does more or less the same thing. But going back to your question, asking if it's going to be, against the blockchain, it's a bit of a problem because the fact that it's so centralized, it's going against what crypto is all about. Because crypto, they don't want to get all of the information from one specific source, And if you think about the fact that Oracle has so many, partnerships with major, governments and brands and stuff like that, it becomes quite scary for crypto people to want to engage with Oracle. That's why they're looking at things like Chainlink, HBAR and stuff like that.
Very, very interesting. Let's finish things up for today.
Yeah.
Okay. I think we've covered a lot. I think we've already dived into a lot of detail on the various topics. With Oracle's role in expanding AI and cloud, and as we stated, even potentially becoming part of the conglomerate that will run the US part of TikTok, do you think Ellison is positioning Oracle to become more than just a database giant? Okay. Do you think that he's maybe perhaps positioning Oracle to be the bridge between traditional enterprise, AI, and even blockchain technology?
I think he is. I feel like he's already in that position because when you're looking at most of the processes for the major tech companies, they actually, they cloud computing is being hosted by Oracle, And one of the biggest advantages that it actually has is the fact that most of its competition, they either have a partnership with them or they're getting some sort of service from them, So that's why even a lot of people in Wall Street were saying that Oracle is like a sleeping giant. And now people are getting to understand how big this giant actually is, in the sense of its acquisition, from its investments, to the way that actually the CEO is looking at, having, a data hub in the world and being able to provide this data hub to, AI models and a whole bunch of functions and systems. I think that question itself, only time will tell. But I think Larry has, positioned himself in such a way that it's going to be quite interesting to see what sort of innovations are going to come from Oracle in the sense on how they're going to be interacting with the crypto, because they, centralized, crypto is decentralized, how they're working with smart contracts, how they're putting AI into the mix. And yeah, man, I think I'm really excited about the future itself.
Absolutely fantastic. KG, thank you so much for spending the time with me today. Thank you for having the conversation. And if you are watching this today and you have maybe some additional questions that you would like us to cover in the next episode, please pop it for us down in the comment section. Even if you have questions with regards to what we discussed here today, let us know in the comments and we will be glad to answer each and every one of those for you. Until next time, that's the end of today's Market Brief, brought to you by ATFX Africa, the broker that gives you an edge in today's markets. Simply head over to ATFX Africa by clicking on the link in the description below and go and experience the difference for yourself. Traders, until next time, stay sharp, stay focused, and trade smart.